Because I was following this train of thought in my head of like why some companies don't like combine properties, because if you recall, what's his name, Capcom had a bunch of issues with the last with MVC Infinite. They had a whole bunch of issues trying to get all those characters into the game, and end up missing a whole bunch of characters because Disney / Marvel was still in a bit of a tiffy about what characters could appear in what. Because that was back when like they were like pushing Inhumans pretty hard, but nobody really gives a shit about Inhumans outside of like, you know, no one in the mainstream gives a shit or even knows who the Inhumans are. And they were very much was like, Inhumans, it's like X-Men down here, Inhumans up here, but people only gave a shit about X-Men. So like that game was like doomed to fail from jump, even though it had some decent mechanics to begin with. It felt good. So like where people are like clamoring for MVC I guess 5, I say they go in the other direction and do like a Capcom All-Stars. You know how back in the day PlayStation did like their All-Stars game where they had all of their like all of the characters they owned in a fighting game? Like sure, it was like a brawler and it was okay, but like the logic is sound because you don't have to worry about asking for any permission from anyone else. They owned all those characters, and that way you could finally get some characters that people have been clamoring for since like the MVC3 days. So you can, yeah, like Nero, you could get all of the main DMC characters in. You get Nero, Dante, Virgil, those 3 right there off the bat. Trish if you want, because you already have a lot of like how she fights and a lot of her assets, so you can kind of like patch it over. So like there's 3 right there, or 4 right there. You can get Leon finally in a fighting game. You probably do Leon, Chris, and Wesker, and maybe Jill if you want, and that's your Resident Evil. V, I don't think V works. I wouldn't, me personally, I wouldn't put V as his own character. I would do it where V is part of Virgil. If you want to make some drastic changes to how Virgil plays, he could be like, Virgil can like switch to a where he's a stand switcher, you know? Or his devil, instead of having his devil trigger ult, he switches into V and does shit like that. So yeah, Street Fighter, you do Ryukin. You do Ryukin, Cammy, Chun-Li, and then Juri. Juri. Yeah, so like a Zelda Sheik type deal. Yes, exactly, for Virgil. If you want to get the V inclusion in it, I would definitely like make it so that it's rather than being 2 separate characters, they just kind of like style switch, you know? Or if you do want to do 2 separate characters, V can be your puppet character, because you know he can end up being your puppet architect character. You could get you could bring back Monster Hunter from MVCI. You can bring back from fucking Captain Commando. You could get the Power Stone characters in there. They have like so much that they can pull from. You know, Strider, you get. I really want to play another Strider game. I really want to play another Strider game. Ace Attorney, yeah, you could definitely get. You could probably. I mean, if you really, really wanted to, you could probably get 2 of them in there too. They have a lot of characters that they can pull from, and I would much rather them do a full baked Capcom All-Star Fighters or Capcom Battle Royale type deal than them to do another MVC3 or a MVC5 and have to fight to get all these characters included, because there's going to be somebody that misses the mark, like, I don't know, there's gonna be like one X-Men that misses the mark, even though like they're all more or less underneath the Marvel umbrella. There's gonna be somebody that misses it, I'm like, what I'm suggesting, I'm like literally suggesting they take the skeleton of, hell, you take this if you want to, because MVCI was relatively solid. So at its core, gameplay wise, it was a solid fighter. It just, the roster wasn't strong enough, so people never really gave it a fair chance and people didn't care about it. So you could like quite literally take the skeleton of MVCI, you take the skeleton of that and then just mash in all of your Capcom characters and then call it a day, and I guarantee you do better than MVCI, because Leon's kind of back in the spotlight because they just did 4 remastered, and 4 remastered was great. They just they had a DMC that came out a few years ago, and then like you can use that as like a bit of a litmus test to see what characters are like, what properties people are interested in coming back, because like imagine that this game comes out, right, this hypothetical game comes out, and then people go like, man, this game's really good, it has Strider in it, man, I want another Strider game. We haven't got another Strider game since back on the Xbox One days. We haven't seen Strider in like 10 years, 10, 12, however many years. I'd really like another Strider game. And then you got people talking about on social media about it, and people are like being like trying to petition for another Strider game, and then you go like, okay, we there's obviously interest in this property, we have it underneath our umbrella, we're gonna assign it to one of our smaller teams and just do like do a smaller a smaller game. It's not gonna be like a big budget game, it's just gonna be like a smaller single player game that was created by one of our smaller internal teams, and that's it. You put it on Game Pass and boom, you're cooking, and that's like the way they can do it, because people have been clamoring for another Power Stone, Power Stone 3 for however long. You put the Power Stone characters, or one of the Power Stone characters, in this new Capcom fighting game, and then people are going like, man, he's really good in this game. Where's he from? Power Stone? Let me go back and like look at that. And people are like, man, Power Stone's pretty fun. I wish they'd make a new one, or they remaster them or re-release them, and then do that. If you don't want to remake a game, then do like a remaster of a game, and just make it available to the masses. Put it on Game Pass. Get in good with Xbox, because Xbox is always looking for games to put on their Game Pass. They're like begging people to put their shit on Game Pass. So like, they'll a game that you don't necessarily have faith in rather, doing like monster number sales, you just put it on Game Pass, and you probably get some cash from that you could put towards something else and call it a day. If it's a game that doesn't have like a multiplayer aspect to it, and it's just a single player, and it's relatively short, and you don't have like a lot of faith in it, throw it on Game Pass, and it'll probably do all right, you know. That's like where my mind is when it comes to like the direction. If I was like leading Capcom, that'd be the direction I'd take it in. I don't know. I would very much. I'd rather, because like that's like gonna be a simple game to make, you know, because you don't have to jump through any hoops with licensing. You own all of the characters. You already have a skeleton of a game that, at its core, you know, gameplay wise was very well received. It just didn't have the strength in characters. So you just add the strength in characters using your own IPs, and then you're done, you know? It's not gonna be like that intensive. And you get to put out a tag fighter. You get to put out a tag fighter that can reasonably compete with the Project L fighter, you know, tag fighter, because that's a tag fighter too. You get to put something out that can compete with that, even if people have to pay for it, you know. Because if you told me tomorrow that game was coming out, immediate pre-order, you know. You just tell me that, like, hey, Capcom's making a tag fighter and is using all of its intellectual properties, I'm signed on. Sign me up. I'm looking for beta codes, you know. You'd buy it for DMC. I would too. Like, I'd very much like to play as Nero in a fighting game. That'd be fun. And I think it may have been harder to do it beforehand, before 5 came out, because I don't think DMC 4, Dante and Nero are like closer together, like character wise, I feel. And then like in after that, in 5, he's basically a grappler, you know. He's a hybrid grappler. So you just like crank that up, and then, you know, if you want to do like, he has like a mechanic where he like kind of, his style switching is him switching arms, you know, then like you could do something with that too, you know. It's like there's a lot of depth to that character, so it means that there's a lot of room to wiggle with how you want to work that character. Do you want him to be your sort of bionic arm guy? I can't remember his name. Bionic Commando? Whatever. But if you want him to be your bionic arm type fighter, he could absolutely fill that role, you know. And then he just has like a bit more tricks with his sword, you know. Yeah, Dante can stay exactly how he is in his MVC 5 or MVC 3 iteration. You pretty much don't have to change anything on him, besides like if you want to change like 1 or 2 of his weapons, but damn near all of his weapons are identical to what he has in 3. So you don't really have to make a whole bunch of changes if you don't want to. Like, you don't really have to make a lot of changes to a lot of these characters. You can just like copy paste their MVC3 and MVCI iterations, and then just like boom, bing bang boom, you know. They'd have to nerf Virgil if they don't want to do the Zelda Sheik route with V. Yeah, absolutely. They would definitely have to like nerf him because like I don't know. I take that back. It depends on how strong the other characters are. Because if they really go the UMVC3 route where everyone has something that's broken, then that's not too much of a problem. Even then I think I still would want them to nerf Virgil a little bit. Because I don't want these characters being like too good, you know? But like you could like legitimately take the Capcom side at MVC3, add like 1 or 2 characters to their of like each franchise that's included, and then just like boom, that's your starting roster. So like a starting roster of a Capcom fighting game could be Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, and Juri. That's 4 for Street Fighter. Resident Evil up next, so we have Leon, Chris, Wesker, and Jill if you want her. So that's 8 right there. DMC, so you have Virgil, Dante, Nero, and Trish. So that's 12 there. Then you have Ace Attorney, Morrigan, and you do Morrigan, and you do the werewolf John. So that's 14. Strider, 15. Who's like a good one? You do Captain Commando, that's 16 right there. You know? That like 16 right there, like right off the top. That's just like, and that's just off the top of my head. You know, if you want to extend that, if you want to do like 20, then you do, yeah, you do Beautiful Joe, because he's already been in a previous version. And Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter was pretty nice in MVCI. So like that's 18 right there, just off the top of my head, and like 3 of those, maybe 3 of those are like net new characters where you actually have to like create them from scratch. A lot of those characters you already have the models for, you already have you pretty much already have all of their movesets, and you already know what they look like in a tag fighting game, you know? That's off the top of my head. That's 18 people right there, and it covers pretty much all of your main properties right off the bat. Hell, shit, I forgot all about Mega Man. So if you want to bring Zero back, you can. If you don't, then you just put X in it and call it a day. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would do about those like 16 to 18. I think is usually good for a starting roster. And if you want to do, or maybe you want to do the, you know, the MVC 2 days where it's like a tag fighter and an assist, you know? Kind of like how Mortal Kombat has done it, where you have like the, you know, the assists or whatever, and then if you don't feel strongly enough to put them the main character, you put them in as an assist, and they're just a cameo. So, you know, that's your rival school characters. Your maybe Zero, you can put him as an assist, or X, whichever doesn't make it into the roster. The werewolf looking homie from 8, Lady D could definitely be a DLC character if she doesn't make the main roster. I think she's like popular enough to make the main roster, so she could take. I wouldn't be upset if like you took, instead of Jill, Lady D takes takes the fourth slot for Resident Evil. That probably would make more sense because you get the range of it. Because you get Chris, he's been there from the beginning. Wesker has been there from the beginning. Whatchamacallit, Leon's pretty much been there from the beginning, and Lady D is very popular, so she's like the more current of the ones, of the characters. So, because I don't think you'd put Ethan. Ethan's not strong enough of a character aesthetically wise to like be in a fighting game. He could maybe squeeze in as an assist, but nah. Yeah, that's what I would do. Like those like 18, that's like a very strong roster made up of characters that like are pretty much already in a fighting game already that you can like grab example of, You don't have to do too much work on trying to figure out what moves to include and like what to what style of character that they should fit. There's not like that much work to go through. So yeah, I think like I would definitely like, that would be my next fighting game for Capcom. Instead of doing like trying to get a Marvel game going, you do a Capcom All-Star Fighters and say we're gonna just keep this all internal. It's gonna be a base roster of 18, and we'll have like, 8. If let's say we do the MVC2 style, where it's 18 characters to start, and then we have like 10 assists. 10 assist characters, like just to start. We have a DLC pack with every one main character we do 2 additional cameo / assist characters. So we end up with technically we end up with 3 new characters in, with each like release of another character. So you get 3 for 1 essentially. And it's a pack of 4 characters that comes out like every season or so. So that's like an additional 8 cameos. So we go from, in the first pack, we go from 18 to 22, and we go from 10 assists to 18 assists, just like that. And all the 18 assists is just like all of these more minor characters, rival school characters, maybe some more obscure. Fucking put Rock Band in there for all I give a shit. If you want to throw some guest characters in from like different franchises, or like if you can get some Marvel involvement without too much hassle, that right there, that's where that's where you put them in as. You put them in as assists. So people don't get like too caught up in the fact that they're like not in the game like that. You have some of that old school representation is what I'm getting at. You could absolutely put Terry in as like, fuck it. Let's do an SNK pack where Terry, and you do Terry, Geese, and let's go with Iori. Those 3. Terry's the main fighter, and Geese and Iori are assist characters. Boom. That's it. You're good. Terry will be a cool new main roster addition, and then add SNK characters as DLC. You could definitely do that too, because I would definitely think you'd have less hassling SNK to get those character rights than you would to get Marvel on board. Because I don't know, I feel like there'd be less hassle from SNK rather than fucking Disney, like honestly, if like we're doing a versus game, I would much prefer a SNK versus Capcom than a Marvel versus Capcom at this point, because it's been so long. Straight up, give me a Capcom All Star Fighters. I'll pay for that. I'll start paying that, like I'll start playing that day one. That'll be like my main thing. It definitely is like a money idea, because like that's a game they can make for cheap, you know? They don't have to pay, they do not have to pay a lot out of pocket. They don't have to pay a lot out of pocket. And then you could do Battle Pass incorporation if you want, for costumes and like all types of shit like that, if like that's the route you want to go down. You do not have to do too much work. If they had, yeah, Ada would be a perfect, like Ada would be perfect for assists. I feel she'd be a perfect assist character, you know? Just like she does a couple moves, she uses a grapple gun, she pulls you in, or she does the swing, you know, her cartwheel kick, real simple shit, you know? She could be a base roster, a main roster assist. That'd be like the perfect slot for her, you know? And like now I'm picturing it in my head. Now it's in my head, like her doing like combos with Nero, because you know both of them are gonna have the grapple hook gun, you know, or it's just like when Nero hits his arm. So fucking Nero starts off the combo, starts working the guy over, brings him in, smashes him with the sword. Assist comes in, Ada assist comes in with her grapple hook gun, brings the dude back in, and then fucking Nero launches and finishes the combo out there, and does the flaming pinwheel move to finish it off into level 1 super. Now, like, write that down. Write that down. Bro, I low-key got hype off of that. I don't even go front. I low-key got hype off of that. Like, I'm just picturing that. Like, starter, grapple hook, pull her back in, smash him overhead with a sword. Fucking Ada grapple hook to restand. And imagine Ada does the restand with her grapple hook, and then fucking Nero comes in with a charged up stinger, like the big slashing stinger he does when he has it all revved up, and that launches air combo, flaming pinwheel down, level 1 super. Oh my god, that would go crazy. That would go so crazy. Oh, that would go so crazy. I want that now. What I gotta do? What do I gotta do to make that happen? That would go crazy. Like, Capcom All-Star Fighters fuck it. Call it Capcom Tag Battle Royale or something. You know? You get 1 tag and 1 assist. And they could put just a gaggle of characters in it. There is like so many characters they could pull from, you know. Jill comes in as an assist. You could do, like, if we're talking assists, all right, we'll do, like, I'm gonna hop off after this, but we'll do 10 assists right here off the top. Here's your like 10. Here's your like 10 assists right off the bat. Ada, hell, if you really want to, you could do Ada, Ethan, Lady. I don't know how I feel about Ethan. I don't think he's like strong enough for the assist. So we'll just do Ada, Lady, Carlos. Yeah, Carlos would be a good assist. So we got 3 now. Ada, Lady, Carlos. There's some other characters. Akira, rival school character, right there. You could get like the main one that came to my head is Akira from Rival Schools. I don't want to overload with Resident Evil characters. I think like these like 10 characters should just like be more all encompassing of like different franchises. So we got 5 there. Blanca, he could be a good assist character. He could do his electric ball into to pop up or restand or something like that. So that's 6. Let's see. I want Rashid as a main character, so he could be like the first like DLC character. Amaterasu, yeah, they could be an assist character. I think they could work really well as an assist character if they don't make it in as a like main character. So Amaterasu, we're at 7. Let me look. I'll put in my Beautiful Joe as an assist character. That could work too. Oh, here's a good one. The fucking the little Monster Hunter cat, the one of the cats from Monster Hunter. That could be a good one. Your little cat companion. I don't know the names of them. That could be a good one. And then on occasion they'll come in and cook and drop you food, and you can use it as help. So we got 9. I need one more. I need one more. Oh, Final Fight's underneath them? Let's get some Final Fight representation in it. Let's do Poison as the last assist. Like those I think those are like 10 really solid assists, like right off the bat. I had completely forgot. Oh, somebody's gonna have to get knocked off the main roster. Either somebody gets knocked off the main roster or we extend to 20. One or two, because Tiger has to get in there, and Tiger, well, we already got kind of a ninja. Tiger has to get in the roster. Yeah, one of the Resident Evil characters. Oh, that's gonna be hard. Oh, because it can't be Leon. Leon has to make it. I'd almost say Chris. I would almost say Chris, honestly. Because I think a really it's between Chris and Wesker. Chris and Wesker, they got one of those. It'd probably be Chris, because I think Chris and Leon's style will kind of overlap a little too much, because they're both kind of like shooty McShooters, and except like one punches and one kicks, you know. So I would Chris can come in as like a DLC character, you know. Chris will come in as like a DLC character. How would I differentiate between Chris and Leon? Chris is a bruiser. Chris can be slow, you know? Slow bruiser. He's coming in, he's doing his roundhouses and shit. He doesn't have any of his like grenades or anything like that. But the guns he does have, he's pulling out the deagle, he's pulling out the shotgun. And then that's how we do it. But he's not the way I would style his character is that Chris is using his projectiles to get in, not stay away. Because if he lands one of these projectiles, he's coming in and he's fucking coming in and swinging, you know? Because he's not gonna have anything that like his like his like him staying far back is not gonna be as strong as him getting close. That's where he's gonna get his damage in. And then Leon, you kind of have him like play footsies, you know? He kind of like bounces from like mid. He thrives at like mid to like maybe far, you know? I don't know. That's how I think I would work it. Where like Leon is kind of like waiting for you to make a mistake. He's kind of like he's like poking you to keep you away. But like the moment you make a mistake and you overcommit is when his speed is gonna show through, and he's gonna start like moving in. You see where I'm going with this, all right? And then Wesker plays exactly the same. He's just zip zapping across the screen. You know, he's moving quick, fast, and at hurt. But like Leon's a little far back. He's playing from mid range to maybe long. Chris, he still has his projectiles. They're a little bit slower, but if he hits them, he's getting in. He shoots to get in, you know. And then he's coming in, and he's moving. He's moving to get in. That's the vision. That's my vision. Okay. I could sit here and talk about this all day. But I think I'm gonna stop here because I'm almost been going for 4 hours. I was meaning to get off like a half hour ago, but I got caught up in the vision. And like if I could broadcast that vision out there, and this lands on somebody's ears, yeah, man. I don't want credit. You know, fuck that. I actually do want credit. I just want to show up in the credits and like, you know, just slide me a bit of a paycheck. It ain't even gotta be that much. All right.